Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to take a super close look at something you see all the time, maybe even have in your pocket right now, the $1 bill. We are going to completely break it down and decode all the hidden meanings packed onto this tiny piece of paper. I mean, really think about it. You've probably handled thousands of these in your lifetime. But it's absolutely crammed with symbols and secrets. It's kind of like a mystery hiding in plain sight. And today, we are going to solve it together. All right, so let's kick things off on the front of the bill. This is the side we all recognize, but there are details here that tell a really important story about where this money comes from and who's backing it up. So front and center, you've got George Washington, of course, but his portrait isn't just some nice decoration. Putting the first president right there in the middle is a really powerful symbol of the nation's leadership and its entire history. Now take a look at that black seal to the left of Washington. That's the Federal Reserve seal. And see that letter right in the middle? That's actually a code. It tells you exactly which one of the 12 Federal Reserve banks across the country printed that specific bill you're holding. It's a pretty smart way to tie a national currency to a local region. Okay, now let your eyes drift over to the other side of the portrait. That green seal? That's the official stamp of the U.S. Treasury. They're the ones who actually issue the money. And if you could zoom way in on it, you'd see it's not just a random logo. You've got balancing scales, which stand for justice in the financial system. Then there's a chevron with 13 stars for, you guessed it, the original colonies. And that key at the bottom, that symbolizes official authority and trust. Literally every little piece has a meaning. Okay, let's flip the bill over because the back is where things get really fascinating. We're talking about the Great Seal of the United States. And the first thing you notice are these two separate circles, right? They look like two different things, but they're actually the front and back of one single seal. And each side tells a different part of the American story. This is such a cool way to show the two sides of the country's identity. On the left, you've got the pyramid side, which is all about the nation's ideals and its future goals. And on the right, you have the eagle, which represents America's power and its presence in the world right now. So let's zoom in on that pyramid. You'll notice it's unfinished. And that's totally on purpose. It's a symbol of a nation that's strong, that's built to last, but is also, well, it's a work in progress, always pushing to become better. And floating right above that unfinished pyramid, you've got the famous Eye of Providence. And just above that, there's our first Latin phrase, Annuit Cuptis. So this isn't just some random, fancy-sounding phrase. What in the world is it trying to tell us? It translates to, he has favored our undertakings. So basically, what it's saying is that this whole American experiment has a kind of divine stamp of approval. It suggests the nation's founding was a favored, almost destined event. All right, now let's jump over to the other circle with the bald eagle we all know and love. It's a classic symbol of strength and freedom for sure, but you gotta pay close attention to what it's holding in its talons. And clutched in its beak, there's a banner with what is probably the most famous American motto of all time, another Latin one, E pluribus unum. I mean, this just nails the core concept of the United States. It means out of many, one. It's this beautiful idea that all these different individual colonies came together to form one single unified country. Now, beyond these big, obvious symbols, there's this hidden code that's woven through the entire design of the dollar bill. And believe it or not, it all revolves around one specific number. And that number is 13. It pops up over and over and over again. It's almost like a secret signature, constantly reminding us of where the nation got its start. Seriously, just look at how often it shows up. There are 13 steps on the pyramid, 13 stars above the eagle's head, 13 stripes on its shield. The eagle is holding 13 arrows and an olive branch with 13 leaves. Even the motto, E pluribus unum, has 13 letters. This is no accident, people. It's a constant shout out to the 13 original colonies. So, after seeing all of this, you have to wonder why, right? Why go to all this trouble to pack so much meaning onto a piece of paper you use to buy a cup of coffee? Well, it really boils down to three big things. First, the seals and official text are there to prove it's legit money. Second, all those symbols for justice and unity, they embed the country's core values right into the design. And third, all of it together tells a shared story about where the country came from and where it's headed. So here's the real takeaway. The dollar bill is way more than just a tool you use to buy stuff. It's a historical document. It's like a pocket-sized declaration of national identity that you carry around with you every single day. So I'll leave you with this thought. The next time you have a dollar bill in your hand, just pause for a second, really look at it. After everything we've talked about today, what's the first new detail that you're going to notice?